Everything I know, I learned from analyzing comedy, watching comedy writers around me, trial and error on a day-to-day basis. I will now share everything that I figured out with you. When you begin to analyze comedy, the first thing that you will find is this. Primary mechanism of comedy is the contrast between one and another. Generally, the high, I'm concerned, and the low, yeah, I like the shit up. If you simply ask yourself, what is sacred and what is profane, write them on a wipe-off board like I've done here, just watch how you have now stumbled upon the primary mechanism of comedy. On the left-hand column, I've just written, what is sacred? Religion, babies, old people, funerals. What's profane? Sex, violence, the party, rally roll, right? Just start linking them up. Oh, okay. Is this a pitch for a new Adult Swim pilot? Here, I got one for you. It's called Rock and Roll Nuns with starring Baby with a Machine Gun. Yeah. The old lady who says vagina. Okay, we just made $100 million. A man steps into a manhole. That is slapstick. But a man steps over a manhole and is hit by a bus. That is irony, and it's just funnier. What changed? What changed is intention. When a character has an intention to get to safety and causes himself to get killed, his result is contradicted by his intention. That is the definition of irony, which you want to embrace, because you will see it everywhere in comedy. The formula for the big comic character is simple. It's a contradiction between the way the character thinks he's coming across and the way he's actually coming across. So Inspector Clouseau thinks he's coming across as a brilliant detective, but is actually coming across as a total buffoon. Austin Powers thinks he's coming across as sexy, baby. He's actually repulsive to women. Ace Ventura thinks he's slick. He's a complete doofus. That formula applies to the big comedy character across the board. Wordplay, puns, rhyming are joke elements, but a pun almost will never make you laugh unless there are other elements within it. An absurd image is a joke element, a comedy element. A giant baby walking down the street, that's a comic image. It's a reversal of scale. How do we punch a joke? 3 principal ways. 1, make it shorter. Jokes are always funnier when they're shorter. There's a formula that I coined, which is J over T equals F. Joke over time equals funny. As time increases, F gets smaller with the same amount of J. Right? Shorter. Funny words. Are there such a thing as funny words? Yes, there are 2 categories of funny in a funny word. One is words with more staccato are funnier. Kodak, addict, pervert. Those are funny words. Kennebunkport is funnier than a mushy word, right? Here's what I figured out about sketch structure. It's generally, I took this, they hired me on the Ben Stiller show, and this is all I would do the whole time. It's generally premise, escalation, as many times as you want it to escalate, twist. That's the whole structure. My main advice to writers is this: do not try to do the generative and the critical at the same time. It's very easy to fall into that when you first start writing, or even when you're a professional, if you're smart. Intelligence is more associated with the critical. Young writers, typically we come up through an academic system which is mostly criticizing. And so when we start to write, as we start to generate, we get hung up on the critical. That just simply means, I'm trying to think of an idea, but I can see why that wouldn't work. That is the paralysis that we call writer's block. It is the thing you want to avoid in the writing process.